Hi guys, and welcome to day 2 of our GT series, running through 7 days to get a really easy and competent, fluidly interpreted GT in any system. Morning, Yasna. I forgot to mention yesterday the easy versus difficult. So on day 1, the situation whole as well, we look at the number of cards that are ahead of our significator. We look at the number of cards that are behind our significator. The ones behind show a difficult time ahead. Ones in front show an easy time. So if you have a whole row of cards ahead of your significator, then you are in the best placement possible. However, because it will be easy peasy lemon squeezy. However, if you're at the end and exiting your own spread, then you're looking at an uphill battle. And that's just a situational notice point when we lay our cards. How easy is this time frame? Because you've got to remember, if you're reading on relationships or work or any other kind of theme, you kind of want to know that climate before you start. Are they going to have are you going to have a difficult read here where you spend time giving extra advice on how to get through this? Or are you looking at a really easy peasy time in which they don't need that much advice? It's more a case of telling them what's going to be happening so that they can, take action on that. I've set up, I'm using the Book of Shadows, House of Shadows, sorry, Lenormand by the lovely Monica. And I put some colored cards on top just so we can see. I'm also going to show tarot and Kipper as well, just to see how they react in the situation. So I will put my overhead camera on. And as we see, we've got 2 partners from our day 1 facing one another in an auspicious position, which is a nice position to be in. However, our significator for the lady has 4 columns, of difficult cards behind her. Even if there's positive in there, it means they won't shine as much as if they were on the right hand side. Our partner card is actually placed really well in the spread. He's only got 1 troublesome column behind him, and the rest of the spread is easy peasy lemon squeezy for him. He's also higher up on the spread. I'm just reiterating day 1. He's higher up in the spread, which means that his situation will probably take a bit of a trump over her situation within the time scale. And there are things regarding him that will influence down on her. So it's just really that dynamics of the time and what's happening. So lesson 2 now, we are looking at the cards above and below. And remember, we're looking at a situational overview so that you can go on to do a full interpretation afterwards. These are the 2 key cards that I would look at as soon as while I'm laying the GT. The reason for that is, if you think about these people as real people, they have things on their mind. They have things that are influencing them. They also have feelings, actions, all these things that go on within our bodies. And these 2 cards above and below can actually show you the situation that you are looking at. And if it doesn't show you a direct situation, then it's going to show you exactly how your querent feels, how their conscious mind is working in the time, what's influencing them. And that then can lead into your narrative. Because if we look at him here, he has crossroads above his head. We know the partner has difficult decisions. They may be divided about something because he has the crossroads card above. Below him, he has the sun card. And think about sun. The true meaning for sun in the Lenormand original instructions is that without the sun, nothing can grow. So you're talking about a life force with the sun beneath him. Look at all that energy he's got. It's actually quite, excuse me, overpowering. Excuse me, I'll just have a cup of tea because I've got something in my throat. It can be quite overpowering, the sun. And with it being beneath him, it's kind of firing up, fueling, and especially with decisions on his mind. You could be looking at a spontaneous situation, for example, that he's super excited about, but also divided about with the crossroads at the top. The querent then is sat beneath her partner, and she really has something she wants to get off her chest. She has a letter beneath her. Think of communication in a bodily feeling. She is wanting to get something off her chest. Her thoughts are constantly moving with ship. A ship being close, obviously. You could say, if there were cards to support it, which we'll move on in our next lesson, that it was to do with work, but we don't really have work cards around her. We do have fish, which is another financial card, but that's something we'll look at later on. But for the moment, we're starting our interpretation understanding that her thoughts are in a movable state right now, whereas he's totally divided. She could be swayed, for example. Yasmin says, if you do not know who the man is, how can you find out who it is? I look at the house that he's sat in, and I look very much at these two cards to understand what that person's thinking and feeling. If, again, if there were more work cards around, you may suggest it's a work husband, for example, or a work wife. So I'd look to the cards around. I'd also look at the house he was sitting in to really discover who that is. Also, if he's sitting really close to the querent in the time scale, this is just answering Yasmin's question. If he's sat close to her, it's more than likely somebody she knows already. If she were at the beginning of her spread and he was at the end and she was walking directly into him, you could suggest, if Clover was near him, for example, if Garden was near him, you could suggest it's somebody that she's going to meet. But when they're sat close together, it's usually somebody that the querent knows already. Somebody else asks, what about if we have the partner below the querent? In her feelings, actions, etc. He's very much supporting her because he's beneath her. She's very much in control of the situation above her because his thoughts are on her. So his primary concern in the time scale would be her. Her primary focus, if you like, in the time scale isn't that. She has ship above her. So he's very much supporting her. She takes on board what he thinks being sat above him. She very much takes in him. And you could say, if you're looking at a relationship read, for example, she acts in accordance with him. So she's not doing anything against him. It's a bit of a sign of virtue, for example. It's a bond between the two of them with him sat beneath. So what I wanted to show you is actually, if we change our systems and use similar cards from our systems, we can see what these influences are again. The court card in Kipper, yes, we have a keyword of decisions, but it's also decisions that are out of our control. So with the lover here having court above his head, it's more a case of making the right decision, or the right decision being made for us, rather than that thought process of, you know, which do I choose? It's more a case of thinking I have to do the right thing, otherwise this won't work out. And beneath him, we have Great Fortune. We don't have a Sun card in the Kipper deck, but Great Fortune speaks about energy, speaks about fortune in our life. And that's another show of him being rather excited about these decisions that he's making to go the right way within the situation. And again, tomorrow we will add on to this. Our sweetheart, who is our querent, has that letter beneath her again. We know she wants to get something off her chest. We will learn what it is during the week. And her mind, it's dissimilar to ship. It's the closest thing we have to the movement aspect of ship. But in Kipper, it's going off. It shows her mind wandering to these two cards, because decisions is next to it and his. So we see her mind wandering rather than actually, you know, she could be swayed in the Lenormand read. In this read, it's kind of, wait a minute, I need to look at this in a different direction, and I'm going to check this card out, which is what you would do in Kipper. And then, if you are reading with tarot, instead of crossroads, I put the Two of Swords. You could have, of course, used the Seven of Cups if you so wish. There's, you know, no direct, 100% direct. But we have the Two of Swords over his head, showing him being undecided. It's slightly different to the crossroads, in which that he could go either way in choices. He's undecided with the thing above his head, Two of Swords. And beneath him, I put actually the Sun, and that increased energy. And this is, you know, it's not a dangerous combo, but when you've got somebody there with you, and you're looking at the partner card and they have all this amazing fire in their belly, but actually can't make a decision, the other cards around obviously will explain what that decision is, and we'll look at that tomorrow. But it is kind of an unsettling combo, even though the Sun is such an amazing card. Just imagine being fueled up with all that amazingness, but not actually being able to decide what to do with it. Whereas she has the Chariot. And again, you could have used the Six of Swords, for example, if you so wished. A disappointing, you could use the Eight of Cups, for example, but we're using the Chariot. And the Chariot above her head means that her thought processes are racing on this. They are raring to go and racing. With the Page of Swords underneath her, she would like to share her truths, because she's feeling that there's a requirement to share that truth from the Page of Swords. And tomorrow we'll go into in front and behind, which will explain this situation further. I wanted to show you on a couple of images from the WDA members group where people have posted. This is a Kipper spread. We have the main character 1, which is our querent, sat at the bottom right-hand side. And this is what I'm saying. This is a difficult run for our querent. It's a time at which things are weighing down on him. He doesn't have so much in control. And it will be slightly harder in the time frame than a normal run-of-the-mill month. He has no feelings, so we don't see any actions or anything that's driving him really, but we do see his thoughts above. And his thoughts is a super mental card, and when it's sat above your head, it kind of intensifies it. So it shows that this person, I actually can't remember whose GT it is, but this person has, and it's pleasant thoughts. It's not that we're talking negative thoughts here. We don't have gloomy thoughts in the mix. We have his thoughts. He has a lot on his mind, obviously, with all those cards, but he's actually quite positive in his thought process, because not only do we have his thoughts, we also have rich girl. We also have 3 cards here on the right hand side, which as we go down the week we'll do, that actually show togetherness and coming together with somebody. Somebody new with child in the mix. However, that partner card is sat in the line of fate, which means he has either not entered this person's life yet because he is fated to come in, or if there is a partner in the scenario, then this time period ahead is very much about the querent, not so much about the partner. They tick along in the line of fate, waiting for their turn to jump into that main spread. We have another one here with Lenormand, and we have the woman sat at the top in an amazing position, sat in the house of ship. Her partner card is down at the bottom, not playing a great role. The role that you can see, or the relationship that you can see between 2 people when they land over and above one another, are the cards that join them. So here we have whip and dishonesty. Well, not dishonesty, fox, obviously. Woman with whip beneath her. Remember, we're looking at the cards beneath. So woman with whip beneath her is somebody in the time frame is frustrated, has a lot of probably energy that's built up within them, that they're wanting to get off the chest. It does have birds next to it, which is my wink to say that's actually really great stress feeling. And if you think about anxiety and stuff like that, or just general life, when you've got the whip beneath you, it's really whipping all that stuff in you. It can make you quite argumentative. And the interesting thing is the partner card has fox above, which means that she's acting in an argumentative manner. He doesn't think much to that. It's like, oh goodness, this isn't right, with fox above his head. But he has a ring beneath him, which is a beautiful card to show that he's very much on her side with ring beneath. He's very much on her side, but does note that things have got a little bit tetchy in the time frame. And again, we will practice each step as we go along. I will be commenting. If I haven't commented on your day 1, make sure you tag me again, because I thought I got through all my notifications. Christine says, what about when we don't have card directions? We don't consider and go on looking the placement of houses to see querent goes along with the partner. If you're talking SKAT and you have a king and a queen of the same suit, and it's the partner card that is coming up, what's your question about who the partner is? Oh, if the querent was above or below. The king and queen, you will always take your significator as facing right in SKAT, and you will always take the other, because actually your SKAT cards usually have an upside down side. So you take the downside, which is looking in the same direction as your querent, and apply it exactly the same as I've done in the lesson here. Does the partner card always refer to the partner? For instance, if it's about work, finance, and there's no actual partner, it doesn't always show the partner. if you set your intention while you are shuffling your deck that partner card is the partner, then that's what it is in your spread. If you don't set the partner card as the partner to your querent, then you are leaving it open to be someone else, for example, in a work theme. And in that case, the person shown will be a person either in the workplace or somebody who has a lot to do with your work and their influence on your life. Let me see. Any other questions? Karen GYPSY, I did see your spread. Your significators are side by side in each other's houses, which is actually, although you've got the weight of the world on you, it's actually a beautiful place to be in. I also saw that I believe the partner card has the sun beneath it, like in the one that I showed today, showing the partner having loads and loads of energy. So it's a really nice, you are in each other's pockets, basically. However, I personally don't like to see partner cards with no shared card in the middle. When they're sat side by side, you can't see what they are sharing, whether it be a close bond or whether it be a struggling bond. There's an absence. Yes, you are very close together in the spread and you are acting together. But it makes me question how close those people are, because there's that shared love, even if it's a child in the middle, showing their shared love of the child. I always want to see a card in the middle. Tony, what is a better way we should intend the person as a partner or leave it open? When I am reading for my clients, I will work with what they give me. So, for example, if I have someone coming to me who says they are single and they have no interest in a partner, or even if they do, I set the partner card as a future interest if they're wanting a love read. If they're wanting a work read, then the partner card, I would not intend that to be a partner card. I would intend it to show somebody pertinent within the workplace who I then can describe using the cards around him, because when we are looking at the cards around our significators, we don't just have to use them for one reason. You know, one card can lead to 3, 4, 5 different interpretations during the course of a reading, because we pick out the information that we need at the time. So we can use the cards around as a describer. We can also use the cards around to show how they react in the situation. And we can also see what actions are going to happen because of this person. Somebody ran out yesterday, of course. Porsche GT today. It's no problem whatsoever. So tomorrow I will be back. I believe I'm doing front and back, and these are our motivations versus what we're focused on. And it actually, when you get to this point, is when you realize when you've been doing this a while, when you lay, you will realize. But when you're starting out, these simple steps actually make it really easy to nail the theme of a read for somebody. I'll see you tomorrow, Sunday, same time. Oh, if you are around, I have a free Lenormand workshop this afternoon, 6 p.m. London. Look at the World Divination Association website. It's on the front page. You can get the link just by putting your email address in. And it's an hour session on Google Meet with me at 6 o'clock, just on Lenormand. And then there are following ones on Kipper later in the month. Have a lovely weekend. I will see those that come along later.